the human princess faced the enemy fleet without fear. She adjusted the edge of her uniform, not out of necessity but out of habit. Her crew, a mix of humans and alien allies, moved efficiently around her, monitoring screens, recalibrating sensors, and checking the status of the fleet. Yet despite the activity, a quiet sense of unease lingered in the air. Alara had faced difficult situations before, but this felt different. The intelligence reports had been clear. A fleet from the Zorvath Empire, a species known for its advanced technology and ruthless tactics, was heading directly toward Urindor's trade hub. The hub was lightly defended, relying on the human fleet for protection. Most advisors and commanders expected the princess to panic or order a retreat. Alara, however, felt no fear, only a clear, burning determination. Her mind worked quickly, assessing options, weighing possibilities, and considering the unpredictable nature of the enemy. The Zorvath relied heavily on computational strategy and rigid formations. They had never faced humans who combined instinct, creativity, and adaptability. That would be their greatest advantage. "Princess, we're receiving new data from the forward scouts," said Commander Haven, her senior tactical officer. His tone was calm, but the tension in his posture betrayed his concern. "The fleet is larger than we anticipated. Sensors indicate they have more than twice our firepower and maneuver capability." Alara nodded slowly, her eyes still scanning the distant points of light that represented the approaching fleet. "We expected that. The size of their forces does not frighten me. It is their strategy that matters, and strategy, Commander, is something humans can excel at." The crew exchanged glances, a mixture of surprise and relief washing over them. Alara had always been different from other leaders. She inspired confidence not with words alone, but with the quiet certainty in her presence. "Prepare the drones," she continued. "I want 3 separate formations ready. Each should simulate an independent fleet. We'll make them believe our numbers are greater than they are. Then once they respond, we adjust in real time. We will use their assumptions against them." "Understood, Princess," Haven replied, his voice steadier now. Alara walked to the center of the bridge, her hands resting lightly on the railing. She watched the holographic display of the fleet, each point of light representing a ship she had trained alongside and trusted. She had spent years building her leadership, not through titles or birthright, but by proving herself in every simulation, every negotiation, and every crisis the fleet had faced. The Stellar Dawn itself was a marvel of human ingenuity. Designed by the brightest engineers on Urindor, it could maneuver in ways that seemed almost impossible. Its drones were equipped with adaptive AI capable of improvisation, guided by human strategy rather than rigid programming. Alara had personally overseen their development, insisting that they reflect the best qualities of human thinking: creativity, adaptability, and courage. "Princess," said Lieutenant Myra, one of the youngest officers on board, "the civilians in the hub are being prepared for evacuation. Some are anxious. They've never faced a threat of this scale before." Alara smiled gently. "Humans have faced greater dangers than this. Fear is natural, but courage is a choice. We will protect them, not with fear or force, but with our intelligence and our unity. Remember, Lieutenant, we are human. That means we are unpredictable, resourceful, and strong in ways the Zorvath cannot imagine." Myra nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. The princess's words were not empty encouragement. They carried the weight of truth and experience. Around them, the crew began moving with renewed purpose. As the fleet continued its approach, Alara's mind shifted to contingencies. She considered the enemy's potential moves: rigid formations, sensor sweeps, electronic interference. Each possibility she analyzed, imagining how humans could turn it into an advantage. She thought of past exercises where the fleet had faced overwhelming odds and how human ingenuity had always found a path. "Princess," Haven said again, They are within sensor range now. They are moving into a formation consistent with intimidation tactics. They expect fear. Should we? Alara shook her head. No hesitation, Commander. Fear is not part of our plan. Initiate the drone formations. Begin the first maneuver. Let them see humans for what we are, unpredictable, precise, and fearless. On the holographic display, small points of light began to shift, forming the deceptive patterns Alara had envisioned. Drones separated into 3 distinct groups, moving as if representing separate squadrons. The aliens, relying on conventional strategy and predictable patterns, would see these movements as a significant force. They would make their calculations based on assumptions that Alara intended to exploit. The crew worked with flawless coordination, a testament to their trust in their princess and in one another. Every officer knew their role, every sensor operator remained vigilant, and every pilot moved with careful precision. Yet there was a sense of exhilaration among them. They were about to demonstrate what humans could do when courage met creativity. Alara took a deep breath, letting the calm wash over her. Her thoughts drifted briefly to her family, to the people of Urindor, and to the countless lives relying on her decisions. She had trained for this moment her entire life, but it was not just training or strategy that guided her, it was belief. Belief in the human spirit, in its resilience, in its ability to overcome even the most advanced challenges. Enemy ships are reacting, Haven said. They are adjusting their trajectory based on our drone patterns. They believe our fleet is larger than it actually is. Their calculations are inconsistent. Alara's eyes sparkled with quiet satisfaction. Good, that is exactly what we want. Keep monitoring. Anticipate their next move, but do not rush. Humans thrive when we think, adapt, and act deliberately. Minutes passed. In the silence of space, tension hung like a physical presence. The alien fleet continued to shift, uncertain, probing, testing. Alara watched them carefully, noting every pattern, every adjustment, every hesitation. She could see the confusion growing among their ranks, a subtle but undeniable sign that human unpredictability was working. "Princess," Myra said softly, "they're communicating. There's a message requesting a direct response." Alara nodded, her expression calm. "Very well, prepare a communication channel. We will respond, but we do not yield. Speak with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Let them see that humans are not cowed by size or reputation." The communication was established. The voice that came through was cold, calculated, and unfamiliar. The Zorvath commander's words were firm, demanding compliance and threatening consequences. Alara listened carefully, weighing each phrase, then replied with measured calm. Her words conveyed strength without aggression, intelligence without arrogance, and fearlessness without recklessness. The alien commander paused, seemingly unprepared for such a response. Alara could almost feel their surprise across the vastness of space. Humans, they realized, did not respond to intimidation the way other species might. They were a challenge unlike any the Zorvath had faced before. As the first hour of standoff passed, Alara continued to coordinate her fleet with precision. She adjusted drone positions, refined their deceptive patterns, and maintained a steady flow of information to her officers. Every action was deliberate, every decision rooted in the confidence that humans could turn even apparent weakness into strength. She allowed herself a brief smile. This was what it meant to be human, to face uncertainty with courage, to embrace creativity in the face of danger, and to lead with the conviction that intelligence and spirit could overcome numbers and technology. The crew began to feel it too, a sense of pride, of unity, of purpose. They were not just following a princess. They were following a symbol of everything humans could achieve when fear was set aside and ingenuity took its place. Alara walked to the observation window, looking out at the stars, the vastness of space, and the distant points of light that represented the approaching fleet. They were formidable, yes, but they had underestimated humans. They had never faced a species that could combine courage, intelligence, and adaptability in the same way. "Princess," Haven said, breaking her reverie, "they are holding their position, unsure of how to proceed. Our actions have given us the advantage, at least for now." Alara nodded. "Good, but advantage is only as strong as our next move. We must remain vigilant. Humans are not just clever, we are persistent. We do not yield easily, and above all, we do not allow fear to dictate our choices." The stellar dawn continued its silent glide through space, its systems humming with energy, its crew alert and focused, and its princess standing tall at the center, unafraid. Beyond the sensors, the alien fleet waited, cautious, uncertain, and perhaps beginning to respect the human capacity for ingenuity and courage. Alara's thoughts returned briefly to the future. The trade hub, the civilians, the countless lives depending on their success. Every decision mattered, and yet she did not waver. In the quiet of the command room, in the vast emptiness of space, one truth remained. Humans could face any challenge, no matter the odds, and emerge not just surviving, but triumphant. She raised her hand slightly, signaling the fleet to prepare the next maneuver. The crew understood instantly. Every system, every ship, every officer moved in harmony. This was human precision guided by human courage. This was humans refusing to be intimidated, refusing to be counted out, refusing to yield. And somewhere deep in the distant points of light, the Zorvath fleet began to realize that humans were not ordinary. Humans were clever, unpredictable, and fearless. Humans were a force that could not be easily defeated. Princess Alara smiled quietly. The first step had been taken. The standoff had begun. And already, humans had shown that courage, ingenuity, and spirit could make even the largest threat hesitate. The stars continued to shine, silent witnesses to the unfolding story. And in that silence, one truth rang clear. Humans would face the enemy without fear, and they would not be broken. The stellar dawn glided through the dark stretch of space, its sensors glowing softly as they monitored every movement of the distant Zorvath fleet. Princess Alara remained at the center of the bridge, her eyes scanning the holographic display, calculating probabilities, and predicting the enemy's next moves. Every point of light, every subtle shift in formation, told a story, and Alara read them all with precision. "Princess," said Commander Haven, his voice steady but filled with quiet awe, "they are reacting to our drone formations. They are adjusting positions, trying to find a weak point, but they cannot anticipate our patterns. Our feints are working exactly as planned." Alara nodded, her expression calm. "Good. Let them think they understand us. Let them believe they have an advantage. The moment they commit to an assumption, we will guide them into a position of their own making. Humans excel in the unexpected. They will learn that soon enough." Lieutenant Myra, standing beside Alara, leaned forward, her eyes bright with anticipation. "Princess, it's incredible. They are hesitating. Our formations are confusing them completely. Even their most experienced officers seem unsure of how to respond." Alara allowed herself a small smile. "That is the power of human intuition and creativity. We do not rely solely on algorithms or calculations. We think, we imagine, we adapt. That is why they fear us." The bridge was alive with quiet activity. Each officer knew their role perfectly. Pilots adjusted the drones' positions, engineers monitored energy levels, and communications specialists maintained links with the fleet. The humans moved as one, guided by trust and respect for their princess. Every action reflected not just training, but a deep understanding of human capability, the capacity to combine logic, imagination, and courage in ways no other species could predict. "Princess," Haven said, "they are initiating a probing maneuver. A small portion of their fleet is moving toward the asteroid field near the trade hub. They may be testing our defenses or attempting to distract us." Alara's gaze sharpened. The asteroid field was treacherous, filled with irregular debris that could easily damage a ship if navigated incorrectly. Yet humans thrived in situations others considered dangerous. Good. Let them come. They will find that our knowledge of space is unmatched. Their movements will be predictable in their own arrogance, and we will use that against them. The holographic display shifted to show the Zorvath ships slowly entering the asteroid field. Sensors tracked their every movement. The alien fleet moved with precision, yet their over-reliance on technology made them vulnerable to the unpredictable nature of the environment. Alara watched carefully, noting each adjustment and counter-adjustment. "Princess, shall we begin the feint?" asked Myra. Alara considered the question, then nodded. "Yes. Initiate the diversion. Remember, we are not here to attack. We are here to demonstrate that humans cannot be easily intimidated. Every movement should show intelligence, courage, and adaptability." The Stellar Dawn's drones shifted positions, weaving among the asteroids in complex patterns. Some drones simulated fleet formations that appeared larger than reality, while others executed maneuvers that seemed impossible, appearing and disappearing in unexpected locations. The Zorvath ships followed cautiously, scanning and recalculating, but unable to predict the humans' next moves. "Commander," Myra said, "their calculations are off. They keep adjusting, but every time they think they have a solution, our drones change position." "They are chasing shadows." Alara's eyes sparkled with quiet satisfaction. "Excellent. Humans do not follow predictable paths. We learn, adapt, and surprise. That is why we endure and prevail. The Zorvath have never faced this kind of challenge." The communication channel crackled to life again. The Zorvath commander's voice was strained, tinged with frustration. "Human fleet," it said, "your actions are irregular. You do not conform to standard protocols. Why do you persist in this behavior?" Alara stepped forward, her voice calm and confident. "Because we are human. We do not rely solely on numbers, formulas, or fear. We rely on imagination, cooperation, and courage. We adapt, we anticipate, and we act with precision. You have never faced a species like us, and now you are learning the truth." There was silence on the line, a pause filled with uncertainty. The Zorvath commander was unaccustomed to being spoken to with such calm assurance. The alien species prided themselves on technological superiority, yet here was a human who refused to yield, who met them not with threats but with unshakable confidence. On the bridge, the crew exchanged glances, their pride growing. They were not just following a princess. They were witnessing a display of human brilliance. Every movement, every decision, every feint demonstrated the qualities that had made humans thrive across countless challenges: ingenuity, courage, and resilience. "Princess," Haven said, "the Zorvath ships are slowing. They seem to be reconsidering their approach. Their fleet is holding formation rather than advancing. Our strategy is forcing them to pause." Alara's lips curved into a faint smile. "Good. That pause is our opportunity. Observe their hesitation, anticipate their calculations, and let them believe they are in control. In reality, we guide them every step of the way. Humans turn uncertainty into advantage." Time passed slowly, yet each moment was filled with purpose. Alara coordinated the fleet with meticulous attention to detail, adjusting drone positions, monitoring energy levels, and ensuring that each human officer remained focused and confident. She was not just leading a fleet, she was orchestrating a demonstration of human ingenuity and spirit. "Princess," Myra whispered, "the civilians at the trade hub are watching. They can see the fleet through our communications channels. They are reassured by our calm and confidence. Your presence gives them hope." Alara nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility yet embracing it fully. Humans thrive when guided by courage and reason. Our people must see that fear is not our way. Confidence, intelligence, and adaptability are what carry us forward. We lead by example, and they will follow our strength. As the stellar dawn continued its glide through the asteroid field, Alara noticed subtle shifts in the Zorvath formation. The enemy was attempting to probe for weaknesses, yet each probe was anticipated, each maneuver countered, and each calculation rendered ineffective. Humans did not merely respond to threats, they transformed them into opportunities. "Commander Haven," Alara said, "prepare the secondary drones for the next phase. We will create an illusion of multiple fleets converging. Let the Zorvath believe our numbers are greater than they are. Let them expend energy and thought on false threats while we remain prepared for the real challenge." "Yes, Princess," Haven replied. His voice carried admiration now, tempered with awe. The crew moved swiftly, coordinating drones in intricate patterns that seemed to dance among the asteroids, a spectacle of intelligence and precision. The alien fleet responded, adjusting to the deceptive formations. Every time they thought they had found an opening, the humans shifted again. Their reliance on rigid calculations made them predictable, and Alara exploited that predictability with creativity and foresight. "Princess," Myra said, "it's working." "They are confused, unsure of which path to take. Our feints are dominating their strategy without a single shot being fired." Alara's eyes softened as she regarded her crew. That is the power of humans. Strength is not measured only in weapons or numbers, but in courage, intellect, and unity. The Zorvath may have technology, but humans have something far more potent: ingenuity and spirit. Minutes stretched into hours. The Zorvath fleet continued to hesitate, unable to commit to an attack or a retreat. Alara maintained her calm, directing her fleet with precision, ensuring that every move demonstrated intelligence and adaptability. Her presence inspired confidence, her strategy inspired awe, and her courage inspired determination. The communication channel opened again. The alien commander's tone was restrained, almost respectful. "Human princess, your actions are remarkable. You defy expectations. Your fleet operates with intelligence and coordination unlike any we have encountered. Why do you persist in this behavior?" Alara replied, her voice firm yet serene. "Because we are human. We adapt, we innovate, and we act with courage. We face challenges not with fear, but with creativity and determination. You have underestimated humans, and now you are learning our strength." There was a long silence, punctuated only by the hum of the stellar dawn systems. The Zorvath commander was not accustomed to this kind of response, to a species that could combine intelligence, strategy, and fearless confidence so seamlessly. On the bridge, the crew felt a surge of pride. They were witnessing history, the moment when humans demonstrated their unique capacity to face overwhelming odds without fear, using ingenuity rather than aggression, intelligence rather than intimidation. Alara turned from the display and looked at her crew. "Stay focused. The challenge is not over. The Zorvath may reconsider, but we will remain vigilant. Humans do not rely solely on plans. We rely on insight, creativity, and unity. That is our advantage, and it will carry us through." The crew nodded, their movements precise, their minds sharp, and their hearts filled with quiet confidence. They trusted their princess, trusted their training, and trusted the power of human ingenuity. As the hours continued, the Zorvath fleet slowly began to retreat from the asteroid field, uncertain, cautious, and perhaps beginning to respect the humans' capabilities. Alara's plan had worked. Without a single shot fired, humans had demonstrated strategy, intelligence, and fearlessness that forced a technologically superior fleet to hesitate. Princess Alara allowed herself a small smile, not of triumph, but of satisfaction. Humans had shown once again that courage, intellect, and creativity could overcome even the most daunting challenges. She looked out at the stars, feeling the weight of responsibility, the pride of leadership, and the quiet joy of knowing that humanity had, once again, proven itself capable of greatness. The stellar dawn glided silently through the darkness, carrying its crew and its princess, a symbol of human resilience, ingenuity, and courage. And somewhere across the vastness of space, the Zorvath fleet hesitated, learning for the first time that humans could not be easily intimidated, predicted, or defeated. The stellar dawn hovered silently near the edge of the asteroid field, its hull gleaming faintly under the reflected starlight. Princess Alara stood on the bridge, eyes focused on the distant points of light that marked the Zorvath fleet. They had withdrawn slightly, but their retreat was hesitant. They were puzzled, calculating, and cautious. Alara knew this was the perfect moment to demonstrate not just human courage, but human unity. "Princess," Commander Haven said, breaking the quiet, "they are observing us closely, but they are not advancing. Their sensors are analyzing every move. I believe they are trying to understand our fleet's capabilities." Alara nodded. "Exactly. Let them try. That is what makes humans dangerous. We are not predictable. And now we will show them that humans are not just clever individually but formidable together. Prepare the secondary communications channels. It is time to bring in our allied colonies." "Understood," Haven replied, a trace of excitement in his voice. Alara turned to Lieutenant Myra. "Notify the colonies. Inform them that we will coordinate a series of maneuvers. Every colony, every human ship, and every allied vessel must move in harmony. We are about to demonstrate human collaboration on a scale they cannot predict." Myra's fingers flew across the console, transmitting orders across light years. Within moments, confirmations began streaming in. Human colonies and allied fleets were ready, responding with precision and enthusiasm. They trusted Alara because she had earned their respect. She did not command with fear or authority alone. She inspired confidence and hope. "Princess," Myra said quietly, "they are coming online. Every allied fleet has confirmed readiness. Even the distant colonies are aligning their drones to our strategy." Alara allowed herself a faint smile. "Good. This is what humans do best. We do not face challenges alone. We share knowledge, we cooperate, and we combine our strengths. That is something the Zorvath cannot comprehend. They rely on rigid structures, technology, and rules. Humans thrive in the unpredictable and the uncharted." The stellar dawn's bridge became a hub of controlled activity. Screens displayed fleets converging from multiple directions, drones weaving intricate patterns, and energy readings indicating synchronized maneuvers across vast distances. Alara's orders were precise, yet flexible, allowing each officer to exercise judgment while remaining coordinated. Haven turned to her. "Princess, the Zorvath are recalculating. They're realizing that our fleet is larger than they first believed. The human colonies alone give us significant numbers, but combined with the stellar dawn's drones and allied ships, we present a formidable presence." Alara nodded. "Let them perceive strength. Let them see humans as united, clever, and fearless. The key is not confrontation, but demonstration. They must understand that humans are not easily intimidated, that we can anticipate, adapt, and excel collectively." The Zorvath ships moved cautiously, their formations shifting as they tried to anticipate the humans' next moves. Each adjustment was met with a countermove, each probe countered by coordinated maneuvering. The aliens' calculations were precise, yet insufficient. They had never faced a species that could combine intelligence, intuition, and collective coordination in this way. "Princess," Myra said, pointing to the display, "their formation is splitting. They seem to be testing our reactions on multiple fronts. If they continue, it could force a confrontation in the open space beyond the asteroid field." Alara's eyes gleamed with determination. "Let them test us. Humans are not timid. We do not shrink from the challenge. But remember, our goal is not to engage in conflict. Our goal is to show our strength through unity and cleverness." Every maneuver must demonstrate that humans are disciplined, coordinated, and capable of extraordinary adaptation. She adjusted the holographic display, showing the positions of each fleet. The Stellar Dawn and allied ships began to move in elegant patterns, appearing and disappearing in ways that seemed impossible to the Zorvath sensors. Drones formed phantom fleets, creating illusions of multiple squadrons converging from different angles. The Zorvath commander's calculations became increasingly strained, unable to predict which was real and which was deception. "Princess," Haven said, "their probe fleet is heading toward the central corridor. They expect to find an opening. Shall we allow it?" Alara considered, then nodded slowly. "Yes, let them believe they have an advantage. It will show them that humans are patient and strategic. Every step we take is deliberate. They will think they lead, but in reality we guide them." The probe fleet entered the corridor. The Stellar Dawn's drones adjusted silently, forming a seamless barrier that guided the probes along a safe path while simultaneously giving the appearance of vulnerability. The aliens followed, unaware that they were moving exactly as Alara intended. "Princess," Myra said, her voice barely a whisper, "they don't realize it, but they are in our formation. They are moving exactly as we predicted." Alara allowed herself a soft smile. "Yes, that is the beauty of human foresight. We anticipate, adapt, and turn the situation to our advantage without a single act of aggression. Humans excel when they think, cooperate, and act with courage." Across the fleet, communication channels buzzed quietly as allied ships synchronized with the Stellar Dawn. Alara's strategy relied not on strength alone, but on timely coordination, intelligence, and trust. Every allied captain knew that human unity was more powerful than raw power. They moved as one, demonstrating the capacity for collaboration and creativity that no other species could match. The Zorvath commander's frustration became evident in their communications. "Human fleet," the voice said, strained, "your actions are illogical. You continue to avoid confrontation, yet maintain the appearance of overwhelming strength. Why do you persist in this manner?" Alara stepped forward, her voice steady and commanding. "Because humans do not measure power solely by weapons or numbers. Our strength lies in intelligence, cooperation, and courage. We face challenges not with fear, but with creativity and resilience. We endure, adapt, and thrive in ways you cannot anticipate." A pause followed. The alien fleet hesitated, unsure how to respond. They were accustomed to intimidation and straightforward tactics. Humans, however, did not follow such predictable patterns. They were a species that could think beyond calculations, a species that could act boldly without aggression, and a species that could unite in ways the Zorvath had never imagined. "Princess," Haven said quietly, "they are adjusting again. Their formation is no longer advancing toward the trade hub. It seems they are reconsidering their approach entirely." Alara nodded, her gaze unwavering. "Good, but do not let this make you complacent. Humans do not rely on one success. We plan, adapt, and continue to act strategically. Every decision we make builds toward our larger goal, to show the Zorvath that humans are clever, fearless, and united." The Stellar Dawn's crew moved with quiet precision, maintaining formations and monitoring every detail. Drones shifted, fleets coordinated, and the illusion of strength grew. Even distant colonies adjusted their positions, creating a sense of human omnipresence across the sector. The Zorvath could see the pattern but could not fully understand it. Every step was calculated, yet flexible, allowing humans to adapt as needed. "Princess," Myra said, "their probe units are pausing. They seem uncertain. They are analyzing, recalculating, and perhaps beginning to respect the humans' coordination." Alara's eyes glimmered with satisfaction. "Excellent. Humans demonstrate patience as well as courage. We wait when needed, act when necessary, and guide every outcome with careful strategy. That is why we endure, why we thrive, and why we inspire those who witness our actions. The alien fleet began to retreat further, moving cautiously and deliberately, unwilling to commit to an aggressive maneuver. They had underestimated the humans' capacity for collaboration, foresight, and ingenuity. The demonstration of coordinated action, combined with fearless confidence, had disrupted their strategy and forced them to reconsider their options entirely. On the bridge, Alara's crew felt a growing sense of pride and purpose. They were not simply following orders. They were participating in a demonstration of human excellence. Every officer, every pilot, every engineer understood that this was more than a tactical maneuver. It was proof that humans could face superior technology and daunting odds without fear, relying on intelligence, adaptability, and unity. Princess Haven said, "Their fleet is stabilizing. They are holding formation but no longer advancing. They are hesitant, cautious, and likely reconsidering their next move." Alara nodded. "Good. That hesitation is our message. Humans are not easily defeated. We can unite across vast distances, act with intelligence, and maintain courage under pressure. The Zorvath must understand this, and now they do." Across the fleet, communication lines remained active. Allied ships confirmed their positions, synchronized movements, and reported the effectiveness of the maneuvers. Every human and Allied officer shared the same understanding. Courage, unity, and intelligence could shape the outcome even in the presence of a far stronger opponent. Alara turned to her crew, her voice steady and inspiring. "We have shown the Zorvath that humans are more than capable. But remember, our strength is not in fear or aggression. It is in cooperation, ingenuity, and unwavering courage. We will continue to demonstrate this, and we will continue to protect our people without resorting to violence. That is the essence of what it means to be human." The stellar dawn glided forward, leading the Allied fleet in a coordinated display of intelligence and coordination. Drones created patterns that seemed to multiply the fleet's size. Allied ships moved seamlessly together, and humans demonstrated that strategy and unity could rival even the most advanced technology. Somewhere in the distant points of light, the Zorvath commander communicated once more. "Human princess, your fleet's actions are impressive. We are beginning to understand that humans operate differently than other species. Your coordination, foresight, and confidence are remarkable. We will reconsider our approach." Alara's lips curved into a quiet, satisfied smile. "That is all we ask. Understand that humans are capable, intelligent, and fearless. Our unity and ingenuity define us. That is why we endure, and that is why we will continue to thrive." The fleet continued its glide through the asteroid field, a demonstration of human excellence and strategic brilliance. The Zorvath fleet, uncertain and cautious, maintained its distance, learning to respect the humans' capacity for coordination, foresight, and fearless ingenuity. Princess Alara stood at the center of the bridge, her presence calm and commanding. Around her, the crew worked in harmony, executing every maneuver with precision, pride, and understanding. They were humans, united by purpose, strengthened by cooperation, and inspired by courage. As the hours passed, the demonstration of human unity and intelligence became evident even to distant observers. The trade hub, safe and prepared, watched the display with awe. Civilians saw the power of coordination, leadership, and courage, realizing that humans could face overwhelming odds without fear. Alara allowed herself a brief moment of reflection. This was the essence of being human, to combine intelligence, cooperation, and courage to achieve outcomes far greater than raw strength could provide. The Zorvath may have been technologically superior, but humans had something far more enduring: ingenuity, unity, and spirit. And somewhere across the vast darkness of space, the Zorvath fleet began to understand that humans were not merely another species to be intimidated. They were clever, united and fearless, a force to be respected and admired. Princess Alara raised her hand slightly, signaling the fleet to maintain its positions. The message was clear. Humans were patient, adaptable, and unwavering. They did not rely on fear or aggression, yet they could shape the outcome of any situation with intelligence, coordination, and courage. The stars above continued to shine, indifferent yet witness to the unfolding story. And in that quiet expanse, one truth became clear. Humans, united and fearless, could face any challenge and turn uncertainty into advantage. They were not simply survivors. They were masters of ingenuity, cooperation, and resilience. The stellar dawn and its fleet glided forward, ready for whatever came next. Princess Alara's eyes remained fixed on the distant horizon, knowing that the final demonstration of human excellence had yet to come. But one thing was certain. The Zorvath had learned a lesson they would not forget. Humans were clever, adaptable, and fearless. Humans were united. Humans were extraordinary. The stellar dawn hovered at the edge of the sector, its hull gleaming under distant starlight. Princess Alara stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the remaining points of light representing the Zorvath fleet. They had not attacked, nor had they withdrawn entirely. Instead, they lingered, hesitant, uncertain, and most importantly, observant. Alara understood their hesitation. It was the perfect opportunity to complete the demonstration of human ingenuity, courage, and unity. "Princess," Commander Haven said, "the Zorvath are maintaining their position, but they are no longer probing. They are analyzing, waiting. It seems they are beginning to respect our fleet's coordination and intelligence." Alara nodded slowly, her calm presence radiating confidence. "Good. Respect is earned through action, not threats. Humans do not need to attack to be feared or admired. Our ingenuity, unity, and courage are enough. Let us show them the final step of our strategy." Lieutenant Myra's fingers danced across the console, preparing communications links. "Princess, the Allied fleets are ready to coordinate. All human colonies and Allied vessels are awaiting your orders. This is the moment to demonstrate our full capability without a single act of aggression." Alara allowed herself a faint smile. "Precisely. We do not need violence. Our strength lies in intelligence, coordination, and the moral courage to act boldly without harming others. Initiate the full demonstration, and let the Zorvath see what humans are truly capable of." The stellar dawn's drones shifted in perfect synchrony, weaving elaborate patterns across space. Allied fleets mirrored the maneuvers, creating the illusion of a massive, omnipresent force. Each movement was precise, yet adaptable, allowing humans to maintain control even as the Zorvath observed and recalculated. "Princess," Haven said, "they are reacting to the patterns. Their formations are hesitant. They cannot anticipate our next moves. Every attempt to probe is countered before it begins." Alara's eyes glimmered with quiet satisfaction. "Excellent. Humans thrive in the unpredictable. Our creativity, intuition, and unity allow us to act in ways no algorithm can predict. Let them understand that strength is not always measured by weapons or numbers." The Zorvath commander's voice came through the communications channel, strained yet respectful. "Human Princess, your fleet's actions are extraordinary. You have demonstrated coordination, strategy, and intelligence beyond expectation. Your movements are deliberate, yet unpredictable. Why do you persist without aggression?" Alara stepped forward, her posture calm and confident. "Because humans are guided by principles greater than conflict. We act with courage, intelligence, and unity. We lead by example, not by intimidation. Strength lies not only in weapons but in creativity, resilience, and cooperation. That is why we persist." A long silence followed. The Zorvath commander seemed to weigh her words carefully, perhaps struggling to understand a species whose strength was rooted in something other than brute force or technology. "Princess," Myra whispered, "they are reconsidering. Their fleet is holding, not advancing, not retreating. They seem uncertain. Alara nodded. That is exactly what we intended. We are not here to destroy or dominate. We are here to show our capability, our intelligence, and our courage. Humans are not predictable, and that unpredictability, combined with unity and moral strength, makes us formidable. The Stellar Dawn's crew continued to execute the maneuvers flawlessly. Each Allied ship maintained perfect synchronization, drones moving with intricate precision. The demonstration was a ballet of intelligence, adaptability, and cooperation, a testament to what humans could achieve when guided by purpose and courage rather than fear or aggression. Princess, Haven said, the Zorvath are attempting communication again. It seems they want to discuss terms rather than continue their advance. Alara allowed a small, quiet smile. Very well, prepare the channel. We will respond, but with the same clarity, confidence, and composure that has guided us so far. Remember, our goal is not to intimidate, but to demonstrate that humans are capable of leadership, strategy, and unity. The channel opened, and the Zorvath commander spoke, their tone measured but tinged with respect. Human Princess, we have observed your fleet's actions. Your coordination and intelligence are remarkable. Your strategies are beyond what we anticipated. You have demonstrated a capacity for innovation, unity, and foresight. We seek dialogue to understand your intentions. Alara nodded, her expression calm but resolute. Our intentions are simple. Humans seek peace, cooperation, and mutual understanding. We protect our people and demonstrate strength through intelligence, courage, and collaboration. We do not seek conflict, yet we cannot be underestimated. That is the truth you have observed today. A pause followed. The alien commander's voice softened slightly. We did not expect such behavior. Humans are extraordinary. You have demonstrated that your strength lies not only in technology but in ingenuity, unity, and moral courage. We will reconsider our approach and withdraw to allow dialogue. Alara's eyes sparkled with quiet satisfaction. That is all we ask. Humans are capable of great things when guided by intelligence, courage, and cooperation. Respect is earned, not demanded, and today humans have earned it. Across the bridge, the crew felt a sense of pride and relief. The tension of the past hours was lifting, replaced by the quiet satisfaction of accomplishment. They had not fired a single weapon, yet they had achieved victory. The Zorvath had been forced to acknowledge human ingenuity and courage, to respect the power of unity and intelligence over aggression. Princess, Myra said softly, our people at the trade hub are watching. They see what humans can accomplish. They understand that courage, intelligence, and unity are our greatest strengths. Alara nodded, her gaze returning to the stars. Yes, humans endure not because we are the strongest physically, but because we are clever, adaptable, and united. Today, we have shown that courage and intelligence can shape the outcome of even the most challenging situations. That is the essence of what it means to be human. The Stellar Dawn's fleet continued to glide gracefully through the sector, the Allied ships following in perfect harmony. The drones shifted in intricate patterns, creating a spectacle of intelligence and coordination. Every movement communicated a single message. Humans are clever, fearless, and united. They are not easily defeated, nor are they easily intimidated. The Zorvath fleet, once imposing and confident, now lingered at a distance. Their calculations had failed to predict the humans' actions, their probes had been rendered ineffective, and their assumptions had been challenged at every turn. Humans had demonstrated a strength that transcended technology, the ability to adapt, to anticipate, and to act with courage and unity. Princess Alara walked among her crew, offering quiet words of encouragement and praise. Every officer understood the significance of the moment. They had witnessed a demonstration of human excellence, a proof that courage, intelligence, and unity could achieve outcomes far beyond what brute force or advanced technology could provide. "Princess," Haven said, "their commander is requesting a formal dialogue. They wish to meet our representatives and discuss future relations. It seems they acknowledge our capabilities fully." Alara nodded, her calm confidence unshaken. "Good. Humans lead not only with strength but with wisdom. We will meet them with intelligence, integrity, and courage. That is how we build trust and respect." The Stellar Dawn began preparations for the meeting. Communications were coordinated, Allied fleets maintained positions, and drones adjusted to provide surveillance without interference. Every step was deliberate, calculated, and guided by the principles that had brought them success: intelligence, courage, and unity. As the hours passed, the Zorvath fleet slowly withdrew to a safe distance, their movements careful and respectful. They had learned a vital lesson. Humans were not a species to be underestimated. They were clever, resourceful, fearless, and capable of extraordinary coordination. The demonstration had been complete. Alara allowed herself a moment of reflection. Across the vastness of space, humans had demonstrated their power not through aggression, but through ingenuity, unity, and courage. They had faced a technologically superior fleet without fear, without violence, and without compromise. They had shown that human strength was rooted in intelligence, collaboration, and moral fortitude. "Princess," Myra said, her voice filled with awe, "we've done it. We've shown them what humans are capable of without firing a single shot. They respect us. They understand us." Alara smiled quietly. "Yes, that is the true measure of strength. Humans lead not through fear but through intelligence, courage, and unity. Today, we have demonstrated that the human spirit cannot be intimidated. That is why we endure, and that is why we will continue to thrive." The Stellar Dawn glided silently through space, its crew standing proud and united. The Zorvath fleet lingered in the distance, acknowledging the humans' capabilities without hostility. Across the sector, allies and colonies recognized the achievement, inspired by the demonstration of intelligence, cooperation, and moral courage. Princess Alara looked out at the stars, her mind filled with plans for the future. The standoff had ended without conflict, yet the lesson was clear. Humans were clever, adaptable, and fearless. They could face any challenge, navigate any uncertainty, and achieve remarkable outcomes through unity, intelligence, and courage. "Prepare the fleet for return to the trade hub," Alara said. "Our people must see what we have accomplished. They must witness the strength of humans acting together with intelligence and courage. That is the true victory." As the Stellar Dawn led the Allied fleet back toward the hub, the crew felt a profound sense of pride. They had participated in a demonstration of human excellence, showing that bravery, intelligence, and collaboration could achieve what no weapon or aggression could. The Zorvath, observing from afar, remained cautious yet respectful. They had learned that humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and united. They had seen a species that could think creatively, act boldly, and demonstrate strength without resorting to violence. It was a lesson that would not be forgotten. Princess Alara stood at the observation window, gazing at the stars. She thought of her people, the Allied fleets, and the countless lives her decisions had protected. She knew that humanity's greatest strengths were not in power or technology alone, but in the ability to adapt, to cooperate, and to face the unknown with courage. And somewhere across the vastness of space, the Zorvath fleet understood the truth. Humans were clever, fearless, and united. They had witnessed a species that could lead through intelligence, inspire through courage, and achieve without aggression. They had faced humans and learned to respect them. The Stellar Dawn continued its journey home, carrying its crew, its princess, and the proof of human excellence. Across the sector, the story of the humans' courage and ingenuity would spread, inspiring allies and earning the respect of those who had once doubted them. Princess Alara remained calm, confident, and unwavering. She had led not with threats but with intelligence, not with weapons but with courage, not with fear but with unity. Humans had faced the enemy without fear, and they had triumphed. And in the quiet of the stars, one truth shone brighter than any fleet, any technology, or any calculation. Humans, united, fearless, and clever, would endure. Humans, guided by courage and intelligence, could face any challenge. Humans would continue to thrive, respected and admired across the galaxy. The stellar dawn glided forward, leading the fleet, carrying the future and proving to all that humans, even in the face of the most formidable enemies, could achieve greatness through unity, intelligence, and fearless determination. The human princess faced the enemy fleet without fear.